everyone. So today we will see that how to determine that extra element which is present in that particular compound during the soil analysis process. So the detection of elements like nitrogen, sulfur and halogen by a particular test that is known as Lassine test. In organic compounds, the elements commonly are nitrogen, sulfur and halogen. The detection of this element depend upon the converting them to water soluble ionic compound and the application of specific test, that is sodium fusion extract test or Lassine test. The sodium fusion test or Lassine test is used in elemental analysis for qualitative determination of the presence of foreign elements like nitrogen, sulfur and halogen in an organic compound. So for that test requires some materials like some chemical sodium metal is essential, and then distilled water also required. Then some apparatus or glassware is required like fusion tube, that is the small size tube is here. Then test tube, then Bunsen burner, then mortar and pestle. Mortar pestle is required. Then require some test tube also is required. Then tripod stand also required for this reaction, and water bath also required, that is copper water bath we can use here for this purpose. Then filter paper also required, and then glass rod also required for this test only. So how we will prepare that solution? So that first we have to take the small pieces of the sodium in this tube. Here we have to remember one thing, that tube should be completely free from moisture or water molecule, because as you know that sodium metal is, when comes in contact with the water molecules, it may be catch the fire also. That's why always we have to take some precaution before doing that experiment. Then heat the tube slightly on Bunsen burner so that sodium metal to a shining globule. Add a pinch of the organic compound. Heat it slowly to start with, so that the compound react with sodium metal. Now heat the tube strongly till it becomes red hot. Immerse the red hot tube into a china dish containing distilled water. Previously, you have to take that in a china dish or maybe that water vessel, 10 to 15 ml of distilled water. In that distilled water, that red hot portion, we have to immerse on that particular water. Then crush the counterpart, that is the red hot part in that water part by this mortar or pestle. Then triturate it properly. Stop. Then this solution you have to boil it for some time. Next, stop heating. Remove the insoluble matter by filtration. After filtration, whatever filtrate you will get it, that is known as Lassine test. Then we will go for that next detection of extra elements, that's particular elements like detection of nitrogen. So first one, for nitrogen test requires some materials, that is test tube holder, or maybe the dropper, maybe some concentrated like HCl, hydrochloric acid, then Bunsen burner, and then some chemical or some reagent is required for this test only. So first, after getting that filtrate clears that solution, we have to go for test only. So the first one is the experiment, so then observation, then inference. In experiment part, to a small portion of the Lassine extract, add 2 ml of freshly prepared potassium Prussian ferrous sulfate solution and heat. Coloration, heat and coloration, heat. Now add 2 to 3 drops of ferric chloride solution and acidify with the concentrated hydrochloric acid. Now the observation. Appearance of Prussian coloration. So then inference. It indicates that if that reaction will give that color reaction, that is that color will form the Prussian blue color, it indicates the presence of nitrogen in the compounds. Then next test, detection of sulfur. For detection of sulfur requires some materials, that is lacine extract, test tube, dropper, then lead acetate solution, acetic acid and sodium nitroprusside also required for this test. So then we go for procedure. Under this sodium, that is test only. Sodium, this is known as sodium nitroprusside test. So then experiment, to a small portion of lacine extract, add few drop of sodium nitroprusside solution. So what will be our observation? Appearance of purple coloration. So this formation of purple coloration indicates that presence of sulfur in the compounds. Then another one test is coming under this sulfur test, that is lead acetate test. First, acidify the small portion of the lacine extract with a few drops of acetic acid and add a few drops of lead acetate solution. All the chemicals, before doing that experiment, all the chemicals is available, so that's why we are showing that this whatever chemicals, whatever reagent is required for that reaction, everything is available around. Then next one, so the detection of halogen. It may be chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, whatever may be. Everything is maybe present in that. Anyone may be present in the halogen group will be present in that compound. So that can be detected by this method. For this method requires some materials like lacine extract, then test tube, then dropper, then concentrated nitric acid, then ammonium hydroxide, then silver nitrate solution, then chlorine water, Bunsen burner, so many things, and it's required for this reaction. Now you see that procedure. First one, test. What is the name of this test? That is the silver nitrate test. So in that, under the silver nitrate test, that is experimental part, to a small portion of lacine extract, add 1 ml of concentrated nitric acid and boil for some time. Cool the content and to it add silver nitrate solution. Then observation. A white precipitate soluble in ammonium hydroxide. First, formation of white precipitate, and that white precipitate, when you added a small quantity of the ammonium hydroxide, it will be completely dissolved on the particular solution. So it indicates that presence of chlorine in the compound. Then next, if the pale yellow precipitate is sparingly soluble in ammonium hydroxide, that means it indicates the presence of bromine in the compound. If yellow precipitate insoluble in ammonium hydroxide, that it indicates the presence of iodine in the compounds. Then next, another one test is there, that is carbon disulfide test. First, acidify a small portion of lacine extract with dilute hydrochloric acid and a few drops of carbon disulfide, that is CS2. Now add a freshly prepared chlorine water to that particular solution and shake vigorously. So what will be our observation? The first observation, In appearance of organic orange color in the carbon disulfide layer, that indicate the presence of bromine in that compound. If appearance of violet color in the carbon disulfide layer, it indicates the presence of iodine in the compounds. So like this way, we can easily identify the organic compounds. It may be containing nitrogen, sulfur, or maybe halogen. Under halogen like chlorine, bromine, or iodine or fluorine is present, that can be confirmed by this nitrogen or maybe the lacine extract test.